Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage, on a beautiful Tuesday in the state of Maine, December 20th, 2022. I shot this clip a minute ago and I said 1922. Okay. So I've been doing some cleaning. This is a shop update video. I'm extremely delinquent. I'm putting them out on a regular basis. There's one or two people in the whole wide world that like to watch them other than me, but for those people, here we are. Gonna go around and talk about random stuff. Starting with, obviously, I got my beautiful from a distance, like back up some more, it looks even better, Road King on my well-used lift. When I got this bike, I shot a video about it, and a buddy of mine said, hey, I got a bike lift sitting here in my yard. Long story short, now I've married them together. Now, back in 2004, I had a brand new Road Glide, brand new. One of the two brand new things I've ever bought, both of them Harleys. And I had bought online a lift just like this, because there were no Harbor Freights locally, so it's probably where it come from. I don't remember. I assembled the lift, and I remember very well, all by myself, rode my Road Glide right up onto it and strapped it down, all by myself. This time, I got the lift inside, finally got a spot cleaned out. I've been moving everything around. Under the blue moving blanket is my exhaust bender. I put up some shelves. This spot used to occupy my parts washer. I finally put that on a dolly that I bought for the 30-gallon drum it has, so I can roll that around over to where I'm working instead of walking back and forth, so that's pretty cool. So I've got enough space. I lined the bike up, fired it up, headed for the ramp, and it squirted right out from under me. I'd forgotten, apparently, that it has some screw down stops, so as soon as the weight of the bike gets on it, it bites into the floor and doesn't disappear on you. So I regrouped and rode it up on here, only to find out, now like a genius, I measured the front wheel and measured the wheel vise, and I made it a nice tight fit, so I was hoping the bike would kind of stay up by itself with one hand anyway, so I could put my handlebar wraps, are like axle straps, but they got little fuzzies on them. In my couple straps, I had it all laid out so I could kind of reach it, only to find out that it had two sets of these hooks. I guess I should have eyeballed it better, because none of them were forward, made the strap go forward and pull the bike ahead. They were both behind the handlebars. So I got it on there enough, got it strapped, drilled a few more holes, moved one set of these forward. Now it's here, it sits on the lift with my safety wood. Semi-excited just to ride this bike, because it does have the Screaming Eagle 6-speed conversion with a hydraulic clutch, which is odd, but it's an actual overdrive. Now, my Road Glide 2004, I couldn't wait to get it in 5th gear, and it would just pull. Pretty much the only gear you ever needed. And was disappointed when I got a 07 or 8 Softail Standard with the Harley-Davidson 6-speed that's not overdrive. 6 is still 1-to-1. It's just so stretched out you can't even put it in 6 without it chugging before you're going 70 miles an hour. Where before I could just dump it in 5th and do anything I wanted to do. So I'm hoping these ratios are the same, which I believe they are. I think I looked it up when I got the bike. And overdrive will just be for, cruising down the highway. I've been picking away at this strange Ultra Case 9-inch Ford. It's a beautiful thing, and when you buy the service kit from Strange, you get all new ring gear bolts, all new bearings. And I've taken the time. I wasn't feeling so hot this weekend, so I'd come out and work for an hour and go back in the house, but I made bearing installers for the carrier bearings. Made one for the pinion bearing, which, as it turns out, the diameter works out. Same piece of tubing. Just one shorter than the other. But so I was able to press on the pinion bearing, no sweat there. So almost ready to assemble the pinion support, but I could not get the inner race out. It's blind. There's no way to get to the back of it. And Strange suggested heating up the pinion support, and that I'm sure will work fine when I put the race back in. In fact, I'm going to do that, but to get it out, I heated it up a few times, and there's no way to grab it. You can't even get your finger in there. So a few minutes ago, I just welded a piece of round rod across it and welded a bead around it. And I got about 3/4 way around. You can hear this thing going tink, 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 because the whole thing's getting hot. And if I just let it cool, it probably would have fell out on its own because it shrunk. But it came right out hot even. So, and now cold, it would probably go right back in. Yeah, it goes a little ways. So, anyway, plus it was good TIG welding practice. Just on principle, it pains me to have to weld the race and destroy it to get it out, but it is a long ways, a lot less inexpensive than the actual pinion support that I need to reuse. So the scrapper in me wants to reuse it, but obviously this one will probably become a tool. If I cut a little bit off the outside, probably make a good rig to push the race back in. I spent a few minutes outside this afternoon cutting the bell housing off a Turbo 400 case to fix this transmission right here. And I had bought a 100-pack of these Diablo auto dismantling blades. And on aluminum anyway, remember I bought a 100-pack and I cut mostly aluminum with my hacksaw. And it loaded up and was completely useless, and I didn't even make it through the pan rail yet. So I went and got an old torch blade and smoked right through it. So not impressed with these. I got 99 left. I did some trading the other day, which I love to do. And I have no M12 Milwaukee stuff. Now I do. For starters, here's another one of those blades. 98 left. It's a little baby hacksaw. It's so cute. It's like the little baby brother or sister of the ones I have. It's so cute. But it is fully functioning. And I had no knowledge of M12. Like, for instance, the battery gauge is actually in the tool instead of on the battery. Interesting. I got 3 batteries, the charger. And the guy had sent me pictures of the stuff that he wanted to trade for the junk I had. And I was so excited that I was going to have a 3/8 ratchet. I've wanted to try this, and they don't make this in M18. So having a cordless ratchet probably wasn't going to happen. I didn't look at it that close because it was just a picture, but it's 1/2-inch drive. I'm not sure I'm man enough to hang on to this. It's fuel. It's 220 foot-pounds. And if you've ever used one of these, which you're watching this, you may have, you know, they got a tendency to put your hand between it and something solid anyway. Damn. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to. I own it. I'm not sure what the heck I'll ever use it for, but I'm excited. And this is why it's important to pay attention, kids, because I ended up with a 3/8 ratchet. Sorry about my chair, but it is what it is. What I meant to say is I am left wanting a 3/8 ratchet still. Back to M18 for a minute. The week before last, I got 4 of these and some Bear tools. The XC50, and they have 6 or 7.0. I don't know where they're at now, but 5.0s are kind of old news. But in my world, when the best I had was a 4.0, these are pretty impressive. I just cut the bell housing off. Well, the rest of the bell housing, it came pre-cut. It's one of the ones I bought that were already whacked off, but the cut I make is the same whether the whole bell housing is there or not. So I cut the entire bell housing off with my new fuel hacksaw, M18, that's over on the bench, not here on display. And then I popped the same battery into my old grinder, put a new flap wheel on it. That's the key. And I did the whole job, and the battery still had 1 bar left. That is impressive. It used to take me 3 or 4 batteries. In fact, the last bunch of bell housings I've cut off, I've actually used a plug-in, oh my God, grinder. You forget how powerful those are. They don't ever give up. They don't stall. It was a good experience actually. And I had my extension cord out when I decided just to try it with the battery, and it went pretty well. And so did the bell housing, come out pretty nice. I did receive and set up my electric hydraulic pump station unit. Thing's 61 pounds shipping weight minus the Chinese wooden box, and it actually works pretty well. It has a big pressure gauge on it. You'll see the whole thing when I set up my tubing bender, which I hope when I finish this video and log on I have tracking information, because it is, as of yet, has not left California. But one of these days, hopefully next week, we'll be looking at it, putting it together and bending tubing. And if all things go according to plan, I will finish this transmission and this rear end, and I will be free to work on the Race 55 a little bit. But I have to tell you about the highlight of my day. I haven't even called the sender to thank them, but I walked around the corner today just after lunch up at the house, and there was a box of meat. It's a local butchery tavern place in New Hampshire, and the food is, I've only had it once before. When you call by Wednesday, you got the meat by the weekend. It comes all in packed and cold. It's not frozen. It's fresh, and it's good. And that is what old Shawnee's having for supper. So right after I call my buddy and thank them. So I'm going to be talking to you before Christmas. Soon enough, that's going to be here. A couple more days. So enjoy the holiday season. Don't stress out. It's going to come and go, whether you fight it or not.